Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's Facebook Live. So CBD is a really hot topic these days. So if you guys have been wondering which CBD products are right for you, how you can use them, then you're definitely going to want to stay tuned for today's Facebook Live. So we're joined by Allison Tovar, the Educational and Research Coordinator at Pachamama and CBD expert. So we're going to give away some awesome CBD prizes. Make sure you're commenting, saying hello, let us know you're here. And also, we just want to have you your questions answered during today's Facebook Live. So make sure if you have any questions about CBD, you're dropping them in the comments. We're going to pull some later on for Allison to answer. So I'm Eleanor. I'm the social media manager at Moms Meet. And like I said before, this is Allison. We're so happy to have her. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Eleanor. I'm excited to be here and answer everyone's questions.
So today's event is brought to you guys by Pachamama. They are the makers of the cleanest CBD products on the market, and they offer a diverse array of products made with plant extracts. So they have a bunch of different ways that you can incorporate this into your life, which we're going to get into later. But before we jump all the way in, for anyone who's joining us that's new, I just want to give a little bit about Moms Meet real quick. So Moms Meet is an awesome organization of moms, dads, caretakers, grandparents, etc., who really care about raising healthy and happy families. So head over to momsmeet.com to learn more, and you guys can join for free, become a mom ambassador, sample products, and really be a part of this awesome community. So thank you again for joining us. During the event, Pachamama representatives are also going to be responding to your guys' comments and questions and stuff. So make sure you are dropping anything you want to know. Today's prizes, of course, we always do prizes. Today's prizes are awesome. So 5 lucky winners are going to be getting a Pachamama Pioneers and Protectors bundle. So Allison, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, so our Pioneer and Protector bundle, you are going to get some of our best products and best sellers. The first one is going to be this Kava Kava and Valerian tincture. So this is our sleep aid, and it's one of our best sellers because it works. It really helps you to balance out your sleep-wake cycle, your circadian rhythm, get to sleep and stay asleep. And that's because of those herbal root extracts that we put in there in combination with the CBD. Valerian, just a fun fact, is actually a prescribed sleep aid in different countries in Europe that's prescribed for patients with insomnia. So that's the first tincture. It's just comes in a little dropper. You can use it like that. And then we have our athletic rub right here, which is an oil-based salve. These are both full spectrum products, so it contains the whole plant extract, all the cannabinoids and terpenes. This one's a cream, and it's extremely moisturizing because it's that oil base, but then it still has the 500 milligrams of CBD and some peppermint oil, so it's really cooling. It's really good for post and pre-workouts. And then the last thing that you'll get in that bundle is going to be our vegan gel caps. So these are also a full spectrum product. They're the first of their kind because they're made with a tapioca starch lining. So that's what also makes them vegan, but it's going to be 25 milligrams of full spectrum CBD, and that is suspended in MCT oil as a carrier oil so that you get full absorption.
Awesome. Wow, those all sound like incredible prizes. So for you guys, if you're trying to win, as usual, make sure you're commenting, sharing, liking, all of that stuff. So like I said before, we really want to answer your guys' questions about CBD. So when you're dropping comments, make sure you're leaving any questions you might have as we're going through this Facebook Live. If things come up that you're not sure about, just let us know, and we'll be pulling some questions from you guys closer to the end of the Facebook Live. So before we go into more in depth about CBD itself, I just want to give a quick overview of Pachamama. So thank you so much again for joining us. And so as the Education and Research Coordinator, you're clearly really well equipped to kind of tell us a little bit more about all things CBD, hemp oil, etc.
Oh, yeah, totally. So I'm the copywriter for Pachamama, and then that kind of trickled into the Education and Research Coordinator role, where that's where my passion really lies, is in natural medicine and in helping people understand how it works really on a biological level. So how CBD can work in your body. So if anybody has those questions, it can be super confusing when you're first kind of like diving in to CBD and how it works for you. A lot of those will think that it's even snake oil because it's used for so many different applications. I mean, from focus and sleep to digestion, it can be used for everything, and it's kind of confusing to understand how that works. So that's kind of where my specialty lies, is in explaining those things in a really just easy to understand, digestible manner. So those questions are definitely welcome.
Wow, that's awesome. So when it comes to Patch Mama, I think one of the really telling things about your company is that the name roughly translates to Mother Earth, which is really interesting. And so I know your hemp is cultivated in Colorado. So it's got all that awesome pure Rocky Mountain water and got all the sunshine.
Yeah, so all of our hemp is organic and it's grown outdoors in Colorado farms. It's all single origin per batch, which means that per batch of every extract that we produce, we're actually using the single strain in a single farm for that batch in order to create consistency within the cannabinoid and terpene profiles of our full spectrum hemp extracts. And that's the reason that you're going to be using a CBD product, is for those cannabinoid and terpene profiles. So in order to make sure those stay consistent, because it can vary by strain and by different growing techniques, that's why we use that single origin method.
Awesome. And I just saw a couple comments come in. Hemp oil versus CBD, just before we really get into it, just to make sure we're kind of wondering what the difference is there.
Yeah, so hemp oil, that can be sold in grocery stores. It can be sold anywhere, and it's been sold for a long time. That comes from the seeds of the hemp plant. And so that's when the seeds are basically just kind of pressed down and it secretes an oil. So that isn't necessarily going to contain any active cannabinoids in it because it didn't necessarily go through an extraction process like these CBD products have to go through. So that's what the difference is there. That's typically used, I think people will use it in cooking, but it's also used in cosmetics. It's a really great moisturizer. But taking hemp oil isn't necessarily going to give you the benefits of, say, CBD because it wasn't extracted.
Interesting. That's actually really great to know. I also know that Pachamama is the winner of the Clean Label Project's Purity Award.
Yes.
Which is awesome. So, and in a market where there are so many different products, like you were saying, there's hemp oil and there's CBD, and then there's different ways that you can kind of get these different things out of the plant. I think it's really, really interesting that you guys were able to get this award because it clearly shows, and I think it's only 3 other CBD brands have ever gotten this, that you guys put in so much thought and consideration into how you make these products.
Yeah, I love the Clean Label Project Purity Award. I love it because it's a great conversation starter. The Clean Label Project Purity Award, I mean, they test consumer packaged goods from organic protein powders to baby food because they saw a need for it in the health and wellness space. Just because there's a lot of greenwashing going around where people will claim, or brands will claim, that their products are pure and they'll put words like clean and green on it. And that's just kind of putting the wool over some people's eyes if there's not testing conducted on it. So they saw a need for testing within the CBD industry because it is highly unregulated. And they tested 242 of the most popular CBD products on the market in 2019, and they found lead levels that were at 34 parts per billion, which is 11 parts per billion over what was found in Flint, Michigan's drinking water. The products that were labeled to have no THC actually did contain THC, and they just found all sorts of stuff like heavy metals. So we reached out to them because we wanted to see if they could show us our blind spots or prove us right, and they did. And they actually told us that our CBD was the cleanest they had ever tested, and then they gave us that Purity Award. So we're very, very proud to have obtained that one.
Well, congrats, that's incredible.
Thank you.
And so if you guys are interested in learning more, you definitely should head over to enjoypatchamama.com. Obviously, we're going to be talking a lot more during this Facebook Live about stuff, so make sure you are staying tuned and, again, dropping your questions. So now it's time to really get into the nitty-gritty CBD things. So one of the questions I hear a lot about CBD, and I think that a lot of people always wonder this, is who are the products really good for? I mean, I know there's tons of different CBD products out there, like you were saying, and it's kind of shocking to me to hear that not all of them have that like cleanliness standard of not having those heavy metals and stuff in them.
Yeah.
So you guys offer some really awesome, unique products. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about the products that you guys offer and how they're kind of tailored to different people's needs and all of that.
Yeah, so if you can see right behind me, we have this thing that says Superfood and Power Plant Infusions, and that's because in all of our products, especially our tinctures, we have included different herbal extracts to give them more of a targeted benefit. Like I said before, this kava and valerian one is our sleep aid because of the kava and valerian root extracts that we have incorporated into the product. But then we also have something like this green tea and echinacea tincture. So along with the full spectrum CBD, we've also included green tea and echinacea extract in it. This one is like our recovered tincture. And I like to think of it as an immune boosting tincture as well, because echinacea root is known to help to build up white blood cells in your body, which helps your body fight off toxins whenever you're sick with anything. So that one is good for immune health. Then we have the black pepper and turmeric. So along with CBD, it was infused with black pepper and turmeric. And this is our detox tincture, but it's also like an anti-inflammation tincture, just because turmeric has an active compound in it known as curcumin, which is highly anti-inflammatory, but it's not easily absorbed by the body. And so that's where the black pepper comes in. That has an active compound known as piperine that actually enhances the bioavailability of curcumin, the anti-inflammatory compound in turmeric, by up to 4,000%. Wow. So if you're using turmeric for its anti-inflammatory benefit, always make sure that you are using black pepper for it as well, so that you're getting all of that, the anti-inflammatory and therapeutic value from it. So really all of our products, we've incorporated those superfoods and power plants rather than any artificial flavors to give them the added benefit. Because like I said before, people are using CBD for various reasons, from focus to sleep. And this really helps to, target each individual specific reason for wanting to use CBD.
Awesome. Wow. That's actually really great to know about the different ways that those things are incorporated. The turmeric and the black pepper, I would never think about. I mean, I know turmeric is so big, turmeric capsules, all of that stuff, but needing the black pepper in there is great to know. I also know that CBD is used a lot of times to help people with pain management, reduce stress, those sorts of things. So just out of curiosity, what do you kind of suggest for people who are looking for things like sleep aid? I know you mentioned immune boosting, and then the sports and anti-inflammatory stuff. I think those are all really interesting things.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to target it from the inside, the black pepper and turmeric is good to just maintain healthy inflammation levels within your body consistently. But if it's something like arthritis, we have our pain cream, which is a broad spectrum CBD topical that you can use, again, topically to rub it on any of your pain points. And this product works quickly. It works within 5 to 10 minutes. You can feel it starting to work and just diminish that pain. So a lot of athletes will use it, but again, people with arthritis and inflammation of those sorts, it also really helps them. So we have this product. It comes in a pump top. And it has menthol in it, but it also has capsaicin. So it's not a really strong menthol scent. I know some people can be kind of sensitive to menthol, but then this one has a lot of menthol and it's a roller ball. So this icy muscle gel would also be good for those that have pain. And since it's a roller ball, you can really target muscles. So this one's really best for athletes as well. And then that athletic rub that I said before, which I mean doubles as a moisturizer. It's an incredible moisturizer because of that shea and cacao butter in it.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah, that's what I would recommend for those that are wanting to use CBD for pain. I think topical would be good. But then again, just try topical, try using it internally. I mean, everyone's body is different, so you got to see what really works for you.
Awesome. So when it comes to things like the sleep aid, I know you mentioned the valerian root helping with that stuff. Yes. Would you say that just like generally CBD can help with that? Or does like having these targeted little other pieces in there really help more? How does it kind of impact that?
Yeah, so actually CBD we have this natural, and I think that this natural can do everything. It can get everything done because of the CBD in it. And the reason why is because CBD interacts in your body through what's called an endocannabinoid system, or ECS for short. And that endocannabinoid system is in communication with every other system in your body, from your immune system to your nervous system to your cardiovascular system. And it's through receptor sites that are located throughout those other systems. And the CBD communicates to and stimulates the production of naturally occurring cannabinoids within your body that can actually bind to those receptor sites and then play out whatever role it is. So that's really how CBD works to, target anything and everything from focus to sleep, to pain.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, I never really thought about the applications for CBD for like the sports aid, especially. That's something new to me. So I think that's kind of amazing that you can really use this one product in a bunch of different ways. When you say broad spectrum, what is that kind of referring to?
That's a really great question. So we have our full spectrum, which is full plant extraction. So it's the whole plant. It contains all of the cannabinoids and terpenes, which are the compounds that the hemp plant produces that are giving you the therapeutic value whenever you use a CBD product. So it does contain trace amounts of THC. Since hemp by law it has under 0.3% THC, it's very, very low, still non-psychoactive, the full spectrum extract. However, it does contain those trace amounts of THC. And then the broad spectrum, which is going to be the ones in our like white packaging like this. It's really similar to a full spectrum extract, whereas it contains different cannabinoids and terpenes. However, it just doesn't contain any THC at all. So that's really great for those that are just worried about, say, getting drug tested, even if you were to use a full spectrum product, it's highly unlikely. However, we have to say that there is a chance, just to be transparent, because there's those trace amounts of it in there. So that's why the broad spectrum extracts are really good for athletes as well. So again, the biggest difference, the only difference really between those two is going to be the THC. There's no THC in broad spectrum.
That's great to know. So just want to share real quick that if anyone's interested in purchasing any of these awesome Pachamama CBD products, try saying that 5 times fast. Or if you want to learn more, head over to their website, enjoypachamama.com. And they have a really awesome promo code right now for you guys. So you're going to get 20% off your entire order now through October 17th. So you have a full month. Use code MOMSMEET20. And we'll post this in our comments section. So you can either screenshot this or wait for us to post it. But again, it's MOMSMEET20. Get 20% off your order for the next month.
Yes, definitely utilize that code. It's great. I think you guys are really going to love the products. And I'm just excited. I'm excited to hear your guys' feedback and maybe take some of these questions.
Yeah, so we're going to jump right into the questions then. So I think we're going to start pulling some from the audience. So here we go. Let's see here. Tony asks, so do you mix these with water or juice or just take it through a dropper?
That's a great question. Really, you can do what you want. People do mix it with, I wouldn't necessarily say water just because it's an oil, so those two aren't going to mix very well. But some people put it in their smoothies, the black pepper turmeric. A lot of people will add to like their salads or some food. If you're going to be adding it to heated food, don't cook with it because it could damage the integrity of the molecules, but just put it on afterwards. But I think that the best way, really, the way that you're going to get the most therapeutic value from these full spectrum products is by putting it underneath your tongue. And that's called sublingual administration because there's a gland, it's your sublingual gland that's under your tongue. And by putting it there and holding it for about 60 seconds, it can make its way directly into your bloodstream and then reach that endocannabinoid system that I referred to before.
Awesome. That's like such an interesting thing to put under your tongue. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
All right, here's another question. How often can you apply a topical? That's a great question, actually.
We say just apply it as needed up to about 4 times a day. But yeah, again, you can apply it as needed. These topicals last for a very long time. And a little bit goes a long way. So you won't need to use a whole lot to find that therapeutic value that you're looking for.
Awesome. Do all of your products have trace amounts of THC or just the full spectrum?
Yeah, that's just the full spectrum products that have those trace amounts of THC. So under that 0.3%, even lower than that. So it's going to be all of the products like our full spectrum tinctures that are at that 0.3% THC full spectrum. And those are in the black boxes. And then the broad spectrum ones don't contain any. And again, those are in those white boxes. And you can filter through that on our website as well, broad spectrum and full spectrum.
So this one is more specific. Does the rub help with psoriasis? I can never say that correctly. For the rubs, what can you kind of use? Like if there are different things you might be dealing with, like psoriasis and those sorts of problems. Is the rub better for those or better for other?
So I would not recommend using the pain cream or the icy muscle gel on psoriasis. And if you're going to use any new products on psoriasis or eczema or anything where the integrity of your skin's lipid barrier is damaged, I would use a little bit at a time. But this one, like I said, the shea butter and cacao butter is extremely moisturizing. And those natural plant oils actually help to rebuild your skin's lipid barrier, which is the lipid barrier is what actually holds in moisture and the water that you drink. It's what retains it within your skin. So using something that is oil-based would be good. It does have a little bit of peppermint. I don't think it would be irritating. However, I would just say use a little bit. I can't necessarily recommend the product for psoriasis, but if you want to use it, I would definitely use this athletic rub rather than the pain cream or that icy muscle gel.
Good to know. So this Jessica says, does the sleep aid make you stay asleep or does it just make it easier to fall asleep? I want to know that too because I always have trouble falling asleep.
Yeah, right? So let's see. Does sleep aid make you stay asleep or make it easier to fall asleep? I mean, both. It's both. Everyone is different. Some people are more receptive to CBD and these herbal extracts that we've incorporated into it, so it might make you sleepy right away. For me, it knocks me out, honestly. I'm really receptive to that valerian root, so it makes me stay asleep, but I have really great sleep all throughout the night, and that's what a ton of our reviews actually say. because you don't just want to get to sleep. You want to stay asleep and make sure that you have well-rested sleep and then wake up not feeling groggy or fatigued. And again, like I said, it helps you balance out your circadian rhythm in a way that's different than melatonin, because you can use it at a specific time every night in order to start to get sleepy at that same time every night and then wake up feeling refreshed and not have to rely on it, say with melatonin, or even increase the amount that you're taking.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. I know the groggy thing is always something that I've struggled with. I've tried a couple of different things and I'm always like, in the morning, I can't function.
Yeah, it looks like that's what our next question is about too, huh? Yeah, and everyone's different. So, I mean, if you did say wake up feeling groggy, take a little bit less. Maybe you don't need as much. So if you're new to using CBD, what we say is start low and go slow. Just use a little bit at a time. Really listen to your body. And when you're using it for the first time, use it in the evening or at a time where you can relax and really see how your body responds to it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Yeah, start off slow, slowly incorporate it into your daily routine, your system, all of that.
Exactly.
So I think we have time for about 1 or 2 more questions. I know one of the questions that I had, which we can get to a little bit later, is about kind of your origin story. But let's see, what does Heather say? What's the safe age range? My kids use melatonin. That's actually good to know. Yeah, is this kid
use melatonin? Sorry?
Is this kid safe, kid friendly?
Our products are, however, I would always talk to your pediatrician about it. We do have people that give their children CBD. I would start with the natural, just because it doesn't have any of those other plant extracts in it. It's hard to really make a broad assessment of this, just because I don't necessarily know if there's any kids that are taking other supplements or other prescriptions. So those things could have interactions. But if you do want to, I would probably start with the natural and just work with your child's doctor on that.
Awesome. Yeah. So would you say starting age is like 18 and older for kind of just starting to incorporate it in, or younger than that, older than that?
I would say maybe even about 16.
Okay.
But
yeah, it's case by case, as it were. Awesome. So I have a few questions that I want to ask you. So one of them is kind of about the history of Pachamama and kind of just your backstory, just because I always think it's really interesting to hear how a company like this gets started.
Yeah, okay, yeah, totally. So we were actually, we're a family, honestly. Pachamama was founded by 2 brothers. Their names are Brandon and Ryan Stump, and they have always been there for each other. Our story is a bit different than most that you would come across, because one of the others, Brandon, actually struggled with addiction for quite a while, and he ended up getting clean and sober. He just celebrated 10 years of sobriety, and when he first started doing it, he realized he was great at it, and his friends saw a change in him, friends that were still struggling with addiction themselves, and they asked him for help. And so he actually opened the door to his own home, let them into his home, let friends and strangers helped them get sober, and then realized that that was kind of his calling. So started with 1 house, turned into 20, and about halfway through that process, he called his brother Ryan, who was actually living on the East Coast, and Brandon was in California. So he was on the West Coast, and he asked Ryan to help him with this. He was like, move out to California and let's change some lives together. And Ryan said yes. And then they started the Buckeye Recovery Network before starting Pachamama, which is a recovery network that has medical detoxes and treatment centers. So they've helped people get sober and just really live holistically. So Pachamama, we really as a brand like to expand on that approach to incorporating healthy habits into your life. And just surrounding yourself with loved ones, and just using good supplements too.
Awesome. So I guess one more question for you before we kind of wrap this up. So I always like to ask this, what is your favorite part about working for Pachamama? I know we just talked a little bit about the company itself, but for you specifically, what do you really love about working there?
I love that you asked that. I love the family aspect of it. I know a lot of brands will say that, but you really feel it. Everybody here that I work with is here to encourage my own personal growth and my professional growth. But then I also love that I've just been given the opportunity to do what I'm passionate about. Like I said, I started as a copywriter because I loved writing, and I loved writing about natural health and wellness. But then I also love to really teach people about that. So I've been able to actually start a course for our businesses where I get to teach them about the brand. And then, like I said, just kind of nerd out about all of the different herbs and how CBD works in the body. So I've been able to teach people, and then also just hop on things like this with you and share the brand and share, natural ways to enhance people's lives and, just make it better. So that's what I love. It's just like right in my alley. There's nothing to not love about really working with Pachamama for me. It's just been such a blessing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. For everyone who tuned in, make sure you're still leaving those questions. I know Pachamama representatives will be getting back to you. And there are so many questions, which is awesome. We love to see that. So we want to make sure we're getting back to everybody. And that's also going to enter you to win. So make sure you're entering to win an awesome CBD bundle from Pachamama. And if you want to learn more, head to enjoypachamama.com. And that's also where you can purchase their products. So make sure you're using the code MOMSMEET20 to get 20% off your entire order now through October 17th. So now that you've learned all this awesome stuff about Pachamama's products, how you can apply them, everything like that, definitely head over there and check them out. I know you guys have a bunch of really, really unique, special products that I think our moms will really love.
Thank you. Yeah, and when you head over there, if you have any more questions, we have a blog with tons of resources. There's one section called CBD 101 where you can really learn anything and everything that you need to know in order to really start a foundation for your knowledge around CBD. And then we also have a chat box if you wanted like more immediate results to your questions. Then you can just write us and one of our team members will, answer your question as soon as we can.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much for joining us. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I feel like I've learned so much more. So again, remember to keep liking, sharing, commenting, all that stuff. And we'll announce the winners on Monday. So, all right, everyone. Thank you. All right, bye guys.
Bye.